Hey guys, um, let's talk about something today. I want to talk about the theme of self-abandonment and kind of the dynamic between an empath and a narcissist. So basically, if we want to talk about narcissism, we're talking about someone that refuses to take responsibility for their actions, someone who's very selfish, and someone who's very, in a way, controlling because they want to get their own needs met, and someone who isn't really there or someone who doesn't really care about their partner's feelings. So, what I want to talk about today is how empaths or people that, for example, people that care about a lot about other people's feelings, how they're kind of like sucked in, not only sucked in, but also like how they kind of like put themselves into that kind of relationship, but also maintain it. Because let's say normal people or people who don't have certain tendencies, when they see this kind of pattern in this relationship, they'll just kind of walk away. But, let's talk about why empaths such as me and a lot of other people, because this is such a common thing that we see, in real life or even on the internet, that I need to talk about it a little bit more and also kind of share my experience, share, what I've learned. So I was brought up in a way that was, how to put it, it's like my needs were never heard. It was always kind of like what my parents wanted. For example, I'm not talking about like big dreams or goals or whatever. It's like basic needs or basic emotional needs. For example, like my parents would kind of push me away when I want comfort and, for example, some physical touch. It's like my parents would push me away and give me, reasons such as, oh, like it's too hot, so don't sit like that close to me, that kind of thing. um, but yeah, it's like basically whenever I say something, like my parents would always just kind of reject it or like say things in a way that makes me feel that my feelings don't matter and that they're not really valid. And that I really have to do what they wanted me to do. For example, if I'm tired and I don't want to do something, and then they'll kind of force me to do it, and they're like, I don't really care about how you feel. You're just going to do it because I'm a parent and you have to do what I say. So that's the kind of dynamic that I grew up in. So, like after so many years of, say, growing up, working and all that, being in relationships, I've maintained that kind of dynamic, which is, oh, I have to take care of, for example, my partner's needs or my friend's needs. It's okay that I put my needs under their needs, which is fine because, I've been this way and no big deal, right? I'm used to it. Um, but sometimes, if your partner is, say, reasonable or if they're actually caring, they'll, kind of like not push you to your limits, because let's be honest, like in a relationship we do things that are, sometimes against our will. So for example, like this, just a very basic example, if I want to go to a movie today and then my partner says, oh, I don't want to go to a movie today, and I say, oh, but we haven't gone to a movie for 2 months and I really would like to watch a movie today, and preferably with you because you're my partner and I want your companionship. And then my partner's like, okay, it's no big deal. I'll just go with you. Although, it's not his original desire. So what I'm trying to say is that in relationships, we do kind of give in a little bit to our partner, and that's fine. As long as it's not anything like too extreme or anything like that. Or, like there's going to be a limit, for everyday trivial stuff like that. Like in the example, that's fine. So I guess, in the past relationships, I was kind of like that. I remember I was in a relationship where, I often try to like gain the attention of my partner, but then my partner would be like, "Oh, I'm busy doing this kind of stuff, and I can't talk to you or anything or something like that." And it just got me really upset. So, and then I started to think that, this kind of dynamic went on in my childhood too, which is like, oh, my parents were so busy. Like, they don't really, I don't know, want to deal with me, don't want to talk to me, don't want to play with me. So I was just kind of always alone. So, this kind of dynamic, as I grew up, going into my relationships where my needs are not listened to, where there wasn't like a lot of communication. I mean, it's like I communicated, but they weren't listening. So going back to the topic of this, you know, self-abandonment or kind of the relationship between let's say a narcissist and someone who's a empath. This kind of self-abandonment stems from a feeling or a belief that our needs or our desires don't really matter. And it's a very dangerous thing because if you hold that kind of belief and go into a relationship like that, you are going to be essentially the other person's slave. Like if that person's kind of callous, if that person doesn't really care about your feelings or what they're doing to you and how that impacts you. So, this kind of self-abandonment, it definitely has a big root in your past because I don't think it just develops overnight. And also, it's linked to a sense of self esteem and self worth and self respect. And that who do I think I am? Like, do I matter? Am I worthy of attention and worthy of people listening to my desires? But the truth is, if you don't think that way, then you're gonna attract or you're gonna maintain a relationship with people that essentially don't care about your needs because they're like super selfish or that they are, they kind of developed into this kind of dynamic with you because you can't allow them to kind of step over your needs. So I guess what I really want to tell you is that we don't have a responsibility to put other people's needs so much above ours and allow them to step on us and to step on our desires. Yes, we should care about other people's feelings, but at the same time, they should care about our feelings too. It's very important that you realize that if you are in this kind of relationship or if you want to prevent this kind of like dynamic from happening, is that you need to realize that there needs to be a level of equalness between you and your partner. What's that mean? So that means, hey, this is my desire, and tell me about your desire, and how can we work together? So, if your partner doesn't really care about your needs or your feelings about their actions or what they want from you, then it's just going to be a one-sided relationship, which is not good. Normal people like seeing that kind of dynamic would just kind of walk away from it because my desire to take care of you and to take care of your feelings, take care of your needs, aren't really reciprocated. And that over time leads to an imbalance. What kind of imbalance? Emotional imbalance. First of all, you're not feeling fair that, hey, I'm trying to like cater to my partner's needs, but then this person is not reciprocating it. So I don't feel good about it. I feel that I'm like not being respected, I'm not being valued, and that I'm not being heard. Secondly, there's a imbalance energetically because you're giving out a lot more than what you're receiving because a relationship is kind of, a healthy relationship is where you give and you also receive in almost equal or, somewhat equal because there's no way that we can quantify how much energy we put out, we receive. It's never going to be like exactly fair. But if you constantly over time kind of like give out a lot more attention, care, and whatever to your partner, and then that's not being reciprocated over time, that energy, like that energetic and emotional imbalance, is going to develop something within you. It's going to become probably, I don't know, anger, resentment, sadness, upset, or whatever kind of feeling they have. You know, I was in that kind of relationship. I feel like I was in that kind of relationship a lot, where I try to communicate my needs, but then they either don't listen or they listen and then they don't care. They don't do anything about it. And I feel that finally I'm kind of realizing that because I don't have like an intrinsic responsibility to take care of their needs. Yes, they're my partner. I'll take care of their needs. That's fine. But at the same time, I absolutely require something to be given back to me. It can't be just like a one-sided relationship, one-sided like taking care of something. I'm not your mom. I'm not like giving out, I don't know, like unconditional love and care. I mean, that's noble. That's noble. But honestly, let's just be realistic and be real a little bit. Like, what does unconditional love mean? Well, okay, that's another topic, but let's talk about this briefly. Unconditional love definitely exists, between a mother and their kid. But in a say a romantic relationship or in a friendship, if you're constantly like giving out more than what you receive, that's gonna be a problem. And you don't want people to kind of like take advantage of you like that. In a more intense relationship, like in a close, intimate, or friendship relationship, if that's constantly the case, then you need to get out. Or you need to talk to your partner about it because, well, if you don't talk about it, he's not going to talk to you about it and try to say, oh, hey, recently, like, I've been, realizing that I haven't been giving you enough, I don't know, like, um, say attention, or I haven't really been listening to your needs or whatever. Yeah, that would happen, but let's just say like most of the time it doesn't really happen. So most of the time it's up to you. It's your responsibility for yourself because if you don't take care of yourself, nobody's going to take care of you unless you absolutely like depend on your partner or your friends to take care of you. But they're not your mom. They're not your parents. Okay? So when you realize that pattern, you need to say to yourself, hey, I'm not being really respected here. My needs are not really being respected here. It's all about their needs, their wants, and how they want to say, kind of like overpower me or overpower my desire with their desires. Honestly, it's just not fair. And I'm someone you know, who very much focuses on fairness in a relationship. Like, I shouldn't be like in a position where I think, oh, hey, because I feel like my mission on earth or what I'm very good at is that I take care of people because I don't know, that's just like my natural inclination or whatever. That's fine. That's fine. Like, listen, hey, I used to take care of homeless kids and homeless adults in shelters and in group homes. But listen, I got paid doing that, okay? Here with my partner, I'm not getting paid doing that, like, kind of like giving out unconditional love and like just kind of forgiving you endlessly. Like, dude, like, I don't have that kind of responsibility. So I don't need to do that. And at the same time, I'm an adult. I am worthy of respect, and my voice and my desires deserve to be heard. So why are you not respecting it? Like, am I? Do you care about me at all? Like, do you respect me at all, or are you just wanting me to fill kind of your needs, your desires? But I'm not responsible for that. At the end of the day, we do need to take care of ourselves. We can't be depending on other people to take care of us in a way that we want to be taken care of, because other people are not you. So I guess my point is you really have to take care of yourself. And also that's a skill that you need to develop over time, because ultimately we are our own individual being and we are independent. We don't have an umbilical cord attached to our partner, attached to our mom anymore. I mean, I guess you're not, because you're watching my video, so you're not like 3 months old or something. So, you know, at the end of the day, if you feel like that your needs are not being valued, or you're not being heard, or it's just that they are kind of like trying to overpower you with their desires. If you don't feel respected at the end of the day, I think you need to do something about it. Unless you want to wait for something to happen. And I don't know, just pray for the best. If that's what you're doing, like, you shouldn't be doing that, because nobody's come here and save you. Okay, you shouldn't be kind of a damsel in distress. Be independent, be strong, and take care of yourself. You really got to know your needs first. And to do that, you need to ask yourself, hey, how do I feel about this? How do I feel in this relationship, in this friendship? Am I getting what I'm worthy of getting? Am I getting, kind of like the, not, again, not exactly equal, but like, am I getting back what I give out? Is this a relationship where my energy is being reciprocated? And if not, well, I guess you're in a one-way relationship, or a one-sided relationship, and it's up to you what you want to do about it. But that's kind of what I want to talk about today, which is self-abandonment of our desires, of our voice to other people, because we want to take care of other people, especially if you're someone who's very caring, someone who's empathetic, and someone who likes to take care of people, someone who's, you know, who wants to care for people. So yeah, I am glad that you stick to the end of the video. I really hope that you got something from it. And until next time, bye.